You know, anytime I do a video on a story like this, Predator kills the Marvel Universe, I almost feel like I need to put out a disclaimer and let people know no characters from the main Marvel Universe were harmed in this production. Cause some of these comments go crazy like, God, no, take me instead. And I'd be like, hey, yo, chill, it's fiction. But with that said, more heroes are gonna die, but others are gonna get some really good hits in. So if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so coming back, this continues from when we saw Kraven hit Bruce with the ultimate rage bait. And Kraven is well aware of the grave danger that he's in right now, so he makes sure to move it as fast as he possibly can, because he knows the Hulk ain't no slouch. And as this continues on what's literally been described as a dark and stormy night, we're given some narration here that tells us a bit more about Kraven's motivations, with it saying the atmosphere shields us from space, roofs keep us dry, medicines fight disease, heroes protect the vulnerable. Earth believes itself to be a fortress, but Kraven knows better. We're all closer than we'd like to think to the jaws of nature claiming us. Even the Hulk. The best way to save her life is to keep company with death. And at this point, Kraven looking over his shoulder like, man, the Hulk a little faster than I thought. Like he wasn't expecting Bruce Banner to turn into I Show speed. But this goes on to say, Kraven is here to cure the world of its soft complacency. Anyone who wants to live like Vil will be slaughtered. Only those who fight back will earn the respect of a worthy death. And at this point, the Hulk just has a litter of those 3 red dots that you usually see before the Predator's plasma cannon goes off, because Kraven has just led him into a room full of Predators, and all of them just let off their cannons on the Hulk at the same time. And those plasma shots basically do nothing. And that's where these Predators, they try to fight the Hulk, you know, hand-to-hand combat, as Kraven continues to keep it moving. But the only problem with these Yautja hunters trying to do the whole hand-to-hand combat with the Hulk is the fact that the Hulk, well, his hands are different, because he's out here just tearing these guys apart, like literally. And I mean, this is one of those things where it's like, it's obvious to any person who has general knowledge of either the Hulk or Predators. I think anybody could tell you like what would happen in this matchup. But for me, there's something about seeing it and also knowing how capable the Yautja hunters are. Because when you think about how capable they are, only to see one get stomped into a puddle of juice and another one catch a backhand and just fly out the window, man, it's just kind of like, yeah, Predators are very much a threat when it comes to chasing down someone who's human-like. But against the Hulk, it's not even a contest. So after the Hulk quickly clears his room, he continues on his way to go after Kraven. But for a moment here, we're shown a really brief flashback that tells us a bit about what happened after Spider-Man vs. Predator, when Kraven traveled with the Yautja to their home world. With it saying here, Kraven had never felt so at home than among the Yautja on their planet. They worshipped at the same altar of blood and sinew, go forth among the stars, and hunt the strongest prey. This was their shared doctrine. They taught him, and so he taught them in return. With their stores of vibranium, god metal, they had a worthy arsenal with which to launch their assault on the rich hunting preserve that is Earth, as we see the Yautja make a vibranium axe for Kraven. And I will say, this quick flashback, it makes me think of that 2010 Predator movie, you know, the one with Adrian Brody. It makes me think of how I really wanted a sequel, and we never got it. And I mean, there was a comic that followed the events, but I also think a movie would have been nice. Just had to put that out there. But even now, with Kraven on the move, this goes on to say, they had a strategy for every single name on the list, including the Hulk. Because now this is where Kraven shows what he's really had planned this whole time, which as it turns out is a vibranium Hulk buster designed to drain the Hulk's gamma energy. And this almost makes it seem as if the whole plan of luring the Hulk into that room full of Predators, like sure, in a way it allowed Kraven to get a little bit more running room, but it almost seemed like a bit of a false positive. Like it was designed to make the Hulk think like, okay, that was it, as if that were the end game. So when the Hulk cleared that room and continued to chase Kraven, he might have had his guard down a bit. That's just what I'm thinking. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. But this vibranium Hulk buster, it's very effective and it leaves Bruce exposed. And as Kraven approaches, he tells him, you remind me of the slow Loris Bruce Banner. It's a primate that looks gentle, but hidden inside, it is a toxic venom. You were the one I was most worried about. And right there, he just strikes Bruce down, killing him with the same vibranium axe we saw in the flashback. And now after this, when we head over to Logan, this has got to be one of the craziest moments in this story. And I think it only hits if you're familiar with the Predator vs. Wolverine story, because after seeing what happened there and then coming back here, it hits different. And I'll tell you why, because when Logan smells smoke and he sees this fiery glow coming from the Xavier Institute, he races back just to see the place going up in flames with the body hanging upside down and on fire in the upstairs window. And with the front door wide open, we can see that there's one of the Predators looking outside at him. But the next thing that happens without warning is Charles Xavier getting pushed outside, and this dude is cooked. And now the reason why this is so crazy is because what happened here at the Xavier Institute about 30 some odd years ago. And I mean, that's just a rough guess as far as the time frame, because none of this is taking place in the main Marvel universe. But with this being Benjamin Percy's continuation of the Predator vs. Wolverine series, as well as the other Marvel Predator vs. series, in Predator vs. Wolverine issue 4, the Predator in that story, who Logan had been going back and forth with for years, he attacked the X-Mansion and nearly killed Charles in the process, only for Logan to save Charles just in the nick of time. And it was like back then and even now, we're told how the X-Mansion is like a home to Logan and how the X-Men have became like a family to him, which would then make Charles like a father figure, even though he's younger. But back then when Logan saved Charles, it was kind of like a moment where it's like, oh man, that was close. So in the present day, for Logan to come back, only to see that Charles is actually dead in the exact same place, front door at the X-Mansion, where Logan saved Charles from a Predator all those years ago. It's kind of crazy to see, especially with it lining up this way. And it even says here, if this mansion is what Logan might call home, then Charles is who he might call father. This isn't the kind of pain his healing factor can solve. So yeah, for me, it's Logan finding out about Charles' death in the same place that he'd saved him. It just has me like, man, Logan gotta be hurting right now. And that's not even where it stops, because just behind Charles coming out of the mansion, you got Graveyard leaping out and going after Wolverine. And we've seen what this guy's done with his crazy powerful vibranium staff. Like, he's cleared battlefields with it, so we know where this could go if he cranked things up. And now just going off this first hit, not only does it knock Logan all the way back, but it takes like half his face off. And even though his memory has holes in it, Logan remembers fighting this kind of enemy before. And it definitely wasn't this same Predator, but Logan remembers that he had many encounters over the course of his life where he fought something very similar, with his very last encounter being not that long ago. And just after Logan gets knocked back, Nightcrawler bamfs here. He grabs Logan and he gets them out of there quick. And now we're also told here Graveyard had studied the kill list carefully. Wolverine was more than a worthy opponent. He was a coveted adamantium trophy. So yeah, Graveyard definitely wanted this kill to show his father, show his clan, and really show that he's worthy of his place as the first Predator under his father, the Predator King. Speaking of whom, that's who we head over to now, with him currently being on his ship on the dark side of the moon. And because both his son, Graveyard, along with Kraven, have seen success with their first wave, this is where the Predator King puts the next stage of their plan into motion, which from here involves sending out an insane amount of drones, both down to Earth and in Earth's orbit, with the intention of taking over satellites, space stations, power plants, data centers, dams, electrical stations, and launch docks, communication, infrastructure, defense, nuclear silos, because this isn't just about heroes and villains. They're taking the whole planet. And even speaking of the heroes and villains, the ones who we've seen get snuck up on, those attacks happen so quickly and so quietly in the scope of the larger picture that it's come to the point now where the Outer, they're not even trying to sneak anymore. And because all those other heroes were taken out so quickly and so quietly, there are so many others who didn't know anything was wrong until now. And at this point, with the Predator King starting the next phase, this also sends out a message that's clearly telling the world, even the most powerful among you can't stop us. And it's not just Avengers Tower or Stark Tower. There are conspicuous attacks taking place all over, because again, the Predator King is sending a message. And we're told here the King stands as Earth falls, and his army follows. And as he steps away from his throne and his army follows, it goes on to say, but there is still hope in Wolverine, in Iron Man, in Spider-Man, in survivors the world over. There is still hope and strength, as we see Sue, one of the survivors, tiptoeing around the Predator King's ship. And for a moment here, she was invisible, but nah, I don't know if that's going to be too useful, you know, with the Predator seeing thermals and all. But with that said, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and let me know if you guys think this story is going to have a happy ending or not. Because, you know, aside from me hoping that Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Wolverine all have their moments, since they each had their Predator versus miniseries heading into this, I'm hoping that that turns into something throughout this story. But aside from that, I got a feeling that there's a lot more heroes and villains who are just not gonna make it to the chopper. But let me know what you guys think. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. All right, later.